Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the marketplace. Coming up in this bulletin, Bank of Ghana's reserves projected to reach a record $13 billion by the end of this year. We will be exploring how the Bank of Ghana can leverage this to aid the cedi stability and bring some market assurance. Also in this bulletin, Ghana's building construction sector records a further slowdown in inflation in November 2025, offering relief to contractors, developers and households amid easing cost pressures.
Cost is increased by 0.4% between October and November 2025. Materials and plants are driving the easing, while labor is adjusting slowly.
Plus, Ghana Tourism Authority advises players in the hospitality industry to be mindful of hiking prices during this Christmas festivities.
To, as much as possible, try to avoid hiking prices because there's increased demand. In the long run, it affects the stable growth of the destination.
We have details of these and more for you. Please stay on. Glad you could stay on. I am Pius Kojobaka and looking at our stories. The Bank of Ghana reserves is projected to reach a record $13 billion by the end of this year. This is what Joy Business has picked up from persons with knowledge of the country's reserves. We have more details in this report for you.
According to the Bank of Ghana's economic and finance data, Ghana's international reserves ending October this year stood at $11.4 billion. However, based on what we are picking up, there has been significant growth in this amount over the past 1.5 months. There are even strong indications that Ghana could end up with reserves hitting more than $13 billion. This strong growth has been influenced by the Bank of Ghana pressing ahead with its reserve accumulation program, as well as the domestic gold purchase initiative. If the Bank of Ghana is not hit with any serious commitment or payment in the coming days, this could mean that the central bank could end the year by adding about $4 billion to the reserves. This could be described as another record development when it comes to the country's reserves build-up and accumulation program. But for some, the biggest question here is, why should we care? If this news reaches the market, it could go a long way in shaping sentiment. One of the major drivers of the cedi's depreciation is concerns about reserves and the ability to support market demand and the currency. Therefore, this news may go a long way toward addressing that challenge. It could also mean that the central bank is now in a better position to step in and defend the local currency.
All right, let's have a conversation on the back of this. Joining us via Zoom is economist Dr. Edu Ususa-Akodie. Pleasure you could make time to speak to us, and Merry Christmas to you. Good to see you. First off, are you surprised about how we've grown our international reserves to reach this record level based on what we are learning from the Bank of Ghana?
Yeah, hello. Good afternoon and Merry Christmas to everybody. I think as a country we've done well. We are still within the IMF program. The program has helped us build more reserves. We have also seen a surge in remittances. You know, we are in the festive season, and so most of our relatives and friends are sending money down here. So the inflow will obviously be greater than the outflow of dollars, and that is good news. We have also seen the activities of the central bank in terms of its gold purchase program, the fact that they buy in cedis and then they retain their earnings in dollars. That's also helping shaping these reserves, increasing reserves for the country. So in simple terms, our inflows have been greater than the outflow. Well, that is good for us. I think you mentioned in your introduction how it is going a long way to help us stabilize our currency. And you know what cedi stability does to every economy. You know, you are able to fight against inflation. You'll be in a better position to stabilize all your macros. And that will also give you a greater, business confidence, market sentiments, and the credit rating agencies will also look at all these developments and they will upgrade the country in terms of scoring so that going forward, if we want to even go to the international capital market, we'll get our loans in a better terms. So it is good news for us. I think we, as a country, we just have to continue building more reserves. And I've mentioned time and again, and I'll reiterate the point that Ghana's gold reserves around 38 tons is still below our capacity. Our peers, Mexico and Kazakhstan, are doing 120 tons as reserves. We are doing 38. So our target as a country should be about 100 tons. So if we can hit 100 tons gold reserves, we've done well. We've come a long way. I mean, just 3-4 years ago, it was just 8 tons, and we have added 30 more. And I think we can do better as a country and target 100 tons as gold reserves. And when we have this, then at every point in time, the central bank will be in a better position to intervene in the market. They call it intermediation, but whatever name they want to give it, intervention, they can intervene to stabilize our currency so that we will not experience any disturbances or with the macros, especially inflation and other things. I think the central bank is also pursuing single-digit interest rate. I've heard. I think it's a good thing, and all these, the reserves will help us go a long way to achieve that. It is also attract investment. I mean, when you have a stable currency, it will also attract investment. So I think the signal is good. The benefits far outweigh the cost. Of course, when you see appreciation of a currency, exporters lose. That's why we always make the point that build reserves and use it to stabilize the currency, not to inject more to experience this sharp appreciation, because the sharpness of the appreciation also has negative effects. So let's build more reserves and then intervene to stabilize the currency. If it stays around 10 cedis or 12 cedis to a dollar for the next 6 months or 1 year, I think it's far better than having 10, then 14, then come to 9 and go up and down like that. It disturbs economic planning.
And that feeds into my next question, how the Bank of Ghana can leverage on that really to stabilize the cedi, like you're mentioning, etc.
Yeah, the country practices what we call the managed floating exchange rate regime. We used to have the fixed regime in the 80s, but we had signed on to the structural adjustment program. And since then, we have been practicing a managed flexible exchange rate. Managed means you allow the cedi to depreciate within a certain band. But I've read through the books. I haven't seen any specific band, upper band and lower band. But if you look at the ECOWAS target, ECOWAS is giving us plus 10 or minus 10 depreciation rate. That is, so if it goes beyond plus 10 or if it goes below minus 10, that's when you call on the central bank to intervene. So maybe Ghana being a member of ECOWAS, they may apply that. But whatever the case may be, we still have a certain band, upper band and lower band, within which our cedi must float. So if it goes beyond the band, then that's where the central bank can intervene. And like I said, no matter the word or the concept they use, it's still intervention. And they shouldn't shy away from it. I mean, that's their mandate. And they have the custody of dollars. I don't think the central bank should shy away from calling it intervention or whatever they want to say. So it will give them the capacity to intervene and to stabilize the currency, because the strength or the extent of the intervention will always depend on how much reserves you have. If you have little reserves and your cedi is depreciating, you cannot do much about it. You have to run to IMF. But if you have enough reserves and your cedi begins to depreciate, you can still come in and supply dollars to meet the demand of dollars so that your cedi, the exchange rate, will be stabilized for a longer period of time so that businesses can plan around it.
And Doc, I appreciate your analysis on that. But largely, as we wrap up the conversation, what's going to be your overview of the economy as we enter 2026 in terms of cedi's performance, etc., the various macroeconomic indicators? What are your projections largely?
Yeah, I mean, so many of the macroeconomic indicators are showing positive signs that the recovery is fast. Of course, we owe everything to first those who endured the painful debt exchange, the haircuts, and kudos to all of them. I think we should use this opportunity to thank them. Ghanaians must thank the bondholders for accepting the painful haircut It is because of that we had the IMF program, and the IMF program has also helped us stabilize our currency. So all the macro indicators are looking good. Almost all of them are looking good. So going forward, we have also seen the tightening of the fiscal and the monetary policies. In other words, the government wasn't spending so much. This one dates back to 2023 when the government decided to contract the expenditure. And then the monetary side too, Bank of Ghana had been increasing the policy rate to also reduce the amount of liquidity in the system. But you look at the budget and you look at the pronouncements from the governor of the central bank, 2026 year seems to be a year where they are trying to expand the economy. They are trying to lose. So they've tightened things up to 2025, and 2026 they want to loosen things. They want to expand. They want to spend. They want to allow liquidity to flow. If you look at even the projections of the credit growth, it's still positive. So 2026, 2027, 2028 are the years that the government has decided that, okay, we have tightened things too much. Enough is enough. We've gotten to the point where we must, loosen things and then expand the economy, grow the economy to create jobs. Because the Phillips curve tells us that when you have a lower inflation, unemployment rate will increase. So absolutely, there's always a cost in pursuing inflation. So in 2026, if the government decides to expand the economy, that is where we'll get the needed jobs. And I want to suggest that we expand the economy in the areas where they have high job creating potentials. That's where we can create jobs to offer a job solution, unemployment solution to our country.
Dr. Adu Ususake, always a delight speaking to you here on the Marketplace. Grateful for joining us on the program. Away from that, Ghana's building construction sector has recorded a further drop in inflation. We have more for you in this report.
Presented by Acting Government Statistician Mao Seidu, highlighted improving cost of conditions across key components of the construction industry. Despite the year-on-year slowdown, overall prices of building input rose marginally by 0.4% month-on-month between October and November 2025, reflecting moderate price adjustment within the sector.
Prime building cost is increased by 0.4% between October and November 2025. Materials and plant are driving the easing, while labor is adjusting slowly. A small group of items, especially steel and both skilled and unskilled labor, account for almost all the inflationary pressures. Number 5, price declines in reinforcements, cement and other low inflation groups and are helping to moderate the overall index. What this means is that the construction economy is in a period of relative stability. Costs are still higher than last year, but the pace of increase has slowed dramatically. And for several months now, we have seen real-time declines. This is a useful environment for households, businesses, and government to plan with greater confidence. As we would usually do, we provide some recommendations for households, for business, and for government. For households, with material prices stabilizing, it is a good time to start or resume your building project.
The report further shows a significant easing in labor-related pressures. Year-on-year labor inflation fell sharply to 12.7% in November from 13.7% in October. On a month-on-month basis, labor prices increased by 2.6%, suggesting continued demand for skilled labor, albeit at a slower pace.
And to some other stories, the Ghana Tourism Authority is advising players in the hospitality industry to be mindful of hiking their prices during the Christmas festivities. National Director of General Services Benjamin Ananinsia says this can be a disincentive to revelers, further affecting the industry. The authority further warns of a tendency for a fall in the quality of service provided as the industry records an overwhelming increase in customers. Now, he spoke on the sidelines of the launch of the renovated Crystal Rose Ambassador Hotel in Kumasi.
Authority, patrons of the hospitality industry double in the Christmas season. The usual return of the diaspora has become an important feature for the industry. The Ghana Tourism Authority says there is a need for the market to be sustained with attention being paid to customer care. Benjamin Ananinsia is National Director, General Services at the Ghana Tourism Authority.
People should, as much as possible, try to avoid hiking prices because there's increased demand. In the long run, it affects the stable growth of the destination. But otherwise, Ghana is a wonderful country, very safe, very stable.
The industry regulator further indicated a need for the upgrade of hotels and other facilities to meet market demand. Mr. Insia added the upgrade must come with training for staff. Meanwhile, the Crystal Rose Ambassador Hotel is marking its 25th anniversary and the opening of the renovated facility. Presently, the hotel has over 100 modern fitted rooms for the comfort of its patrons. MP for Menchia North, Akwesi Kunedu, speaks for Crystal Rose Ambassador Hotel.
Yes, I think this Christmas comes with a lot of packages. We have package for families who want to have a stay out from their usual comfort of their home to have another comfort that would engage them. We have secluded areas for all activities that you can think of. Activities such as we have a new bar, we have a new restaurant, 4 conference rooms, we have our eatery areas, and a new restaurant that has also been upgraded to fit the purpose for a growing metropolis and a metropolitan area like Kumasi and the Ashanti. So we urge every single person to come, have a treat from home, to have a second home here in Crystal Rose Hotel. And we can assure them that the luxury comes at a very affordable rate, so that every single person, regardless of what status you believe you are in, will have a place here in Crystal Rose Hotel.
For Joy News, Nanaya Ochima, Kumasi.
Still within the season, Best Western Plus Accra Beach Hotel has rolled out festive customer engagement activities to strengthen brand positioning, enhance guest experience, and drive increased patronage during this Christmas season. Speaking at the hotel's Christmas tree lighting and carols night, General Manager Enezon said the initiative reflects the brand's commitment to value for money, joy, and customer satisfaction.
Best Western Plus Accra Beach Hotel marked the festive season with a Christmas tree lighting and carols night, drawing families and tourists for an evening of music and celebration. Speaking at the event, General Manager Ernest Zon said the initiative underscores the hotel's commitment to value for money and memorable guest experiences.
Best Western, our target is to make our guests happy. We want them to enjoy any big thing that happens over here. When you come here, it's value for money. We want to see them being happy, going back to their homes with excitement.
He further explained that the festive activation forms part of a broader strategy to leverage the Christmas season to boost bookings, encourage repeat visits, and deepen customer loyalty through family-focused activities by the beach.
Into Christmas, it's about joy, it's about love, it's about peace. So we just wanted to join these two together to make our customers happy, and that's what exactly that we did today. And you can see from the faces of our guests that they were so happy. And then we will take it that from here, the rest of the programs that are lined up, they will enjoy it.
Best Western Plus Accra Beach Hotel says it remains committed to delivering memorable guest experiences while positioning itself as a preferred holiday destination during and after the festive season.
Now, Glycolife has strengthened its commitment to inclusive social investment with a handover of an ultra-modern AstroTurf pitch to Jawulu Special School. Managing Director of Glycolife, Mami Dufie Champonche Obeng, says the project was inspired by the need to provide a safe and conducive environment for children, especially those with special needs, to play, grow, and thrive.
The AstroTurf project was initiated after Glycolife identified a lack of safe sporting infrastructure for children with special needs during a visit to the school in December 2023. According to Managing Director of Glycolife, Mami Dufie Champonche Oben, after 6 months of construction, the facility is expected to improve physical development, inclusion, and overall well-being for pupils.
We noted that one very critical area of development for everybody, and especially children and children with special needs, was was the need for a conducive environment for them to be able to have sports and to play and to develop. And so that is where the idea was birthed, that we should come up or support them in developing an AstroTurf. And indeed the idea was plausible, admissible, and we came in to support that mission. And so today, that is why we are here. After 6 months of constructing this ultra-modern AstroTurf, it is my pleasure to hand over this AstroTurf to Jowulu Special School.
Chief Executive Glyco Group, Edward Foucault, says the project reflects its philosophy that insurance goes beyond profit making, serving as a social safety net that promotes healthy and productive communities.
Even though insurance is business, it's still more of a social intervention mechanism. Our slogan, we say we cushioning for life, and cushioning, it's about cushioning everybody for life. We don't discriminate as to whether your position, as to your status, and so on and so forth.
Headmaster of Jowulu Special School, Frederick Tete, believes the new facility will significantly enhance physical therapy, sports and training, and opportunities for pupils to compete at national and international levels.
We realize that most of these kids have problems with their fine and gross motor development, and we have to train them physically to correct that anomaly. So as I said earlier, we put on a lot of requests to other and well-endowed organizations to support us fix this problem. But it was only Glyco who came in to help us. So I'm very grateful to them, and I excited, the kids are excited, the staff, they are very, very, very happy with this project, and it's going to help us train these kids very well.
And that's our package by way of the marketplace. For more stories, feel free to log on to myjoyonline.com/business. There you go. Cedi to rebound against dollar over the next 2 weeks. $1 equals 12 cedis 40 pesos at Forex bureaus. Also on that portal, you see Ghana's building construction inflation drops to 5.9% in November 2025, according to the Ghana Statistical Service. And we have more stories when you log on to myjoyonline.com/business. I am Pius Kojobaka, always a delight serving you. Bye.